Hey friends, sensitive subject matter ahead.
If you at all feel triggered, please reach out to family, friends, or crisis hotlines. You can also find crisis hotline numbers in the description box of this episode. Welcome back to our favorite pizza hour.
We were just talking about pizza.
Pizza's important.
But more importantly, this is...
Can I just say one thing?
That's Demi.
That's Jess. Welcome back.
We are here to talk your ear off.
Week 3.
Week 4.
Whoops. Week 4. That's my favorite week.
Yep, because it's our most current week. Mm-hmm.
I knew that. Yep.
So, I don't know, tell me about what happened to you this week.
This week was fine. I worked. I didn't go to work on Friday. Wasn't feeling too hot. Stayed home. Self-care, self-love, self-respect.
Yes.
I just took it easy. And It was really nice to just relax.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes your body just needs that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially because you actually weren't feeling good.
No,
I
wasn't lying.
Yeah.
But that's okay too.
Even if it wasn't like something physical necessarily, it's okay to take a day for yourself, you know? Kind of need to do that.
It's very important to do that.
It truly is.
And then I worked out every day this week.
Every day? I didn't realize it was every day. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. I was really happy that I did that.
Way better than me.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, no, I did.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't on Friday. I can't remember. I don't think I did on Friday. Oh, I didn't on Friday because I was going to go Saturday. So I went to the gym on Saturday. And I went on the treadmill for 3 minutes to warm up. I went into the fitness area to, start my workout.
Yeah.
I looked at what my workout was going to be, and I left. And you know what? That's okay.
That's okay. Because what's the app you always forget? The app that you use for
I use Kayla Itzines.
Okay.
That I use her workout regimen.
Yeah.
It's really intense.
It doesn't sound fun to me. That's
it's very
sure.
brutal, but I like that type of working out.
Yeah,
just
that's
keeps
good.
You going.
That's why that's why I prefer running because I know it's going to be the same pretty much every time, and then I add in that one day where I do cross training. You know,
Tuesdays.
Demi and I work out Tuesdays together.
We go to the craziest class.
It's so much fun.
I love that class.
I love that class so much.
She's nuts.
So this instructor that we have is so amazing, does the whole entire workout for the full 50 minutes as she's instructing us. She's so strong.
You know what's weird, too? So in that class, I'm working out so hard for truly 50 minutes the entire time, and I sweat pretty good, but when we ran on Thursday, I was drenched.
That was because the humidity, I think, though.
It was amazing.
It was good, yeah. It's not bad to sweat, it's amazing to sweat, but...
it was like in a sauna.
Yeah, it was so bad on Thursday.
Yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable, for being honest.
Yeah. It was so hot.
How was your week?
It was good. Work as well, you know. That's not very exciting.
I know. So, that's okay to just... you don't always have to have, I did this and this and this.
Yeah. And most of my weeks really are just, I just,
Just working.
Yeah. That's about it, Yeah. That's okay. I left early on Friday, too, because I wasn't feeling so great either.
Something's happening.
I know.
It's that time, too.
Exactly. People are getting bugs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. We went to a Brew Street thing yesterday. It was a whole bunch of breweries came out to Sacramento.
For a charity.
For a charity, yeah. And it was fun. It was actually really inexpensive. Beers are so expensive nowadays. So the fact that they're only charging $5 a beer for a full beer, I was like, yes.
Yeah, that was a really good time. I rode with my friend Amy. We rode bikes downtown.
And I finally got to meet your friend Amy.
Amy.
Yes, so
the best.
Yeah.
That was a really great time.
It was a perfect day.
I got to hold a bird. I got to see lots of cute dogs.
Pet every dog.
Can you think of a better day? Beer, dogs, birds, friends.
Food.
Oh my god, so much pizza.
I love that pizza.
I love that pizza. There's this place in Sacramento called the Federalist that does oven or wood fire pizzas, and it is one of the best places.
Nuts. Their crust is true perfection.
It is, and it's a restaurant that's in an alley.
It's in an alley and in a storage container.
Exactly.
It's wild.
But it is pretty expensive, which is fine. It is.
For what you're getting.
Yeah, because it's delicious. It's great.
They're quality ingredients, and that's important. And they have really good beer there, too.
They do. They always have good beer. So, follow up, did you text or call anybody this week?
I didn't. No, I'm just going to keep that short. I didn't. Completely forgot. Yeah. I always say, oh, that's such a great idea. I'm going to do that this week. If I don't mark it in my calendar and set an alarm, I won't.
I'm pretty much the same way. I had to remind myself multiple times because my whole thing, so last week we were saying we're going to do something that, would make us feel good. Right. Follow up with somebody, see how they're doing, tell them we love them. Right. And mine was to call my grandmother. And I did, and we were playing phone tag, and then we were texting, and so finally on Friday, I finally got a hold of her and talked to her, and it was really nice. It was really nice because we don't talk really ever. Yeah. And she was telling me about, we just went on random tangents, which is always kind of how it is when you don't talk to somebody for a while. And she was telling me how when she was pregnant with my uncle, who's her youngest, they wanted to chop down the tree in the backyard, and she wouldn't let them, and how they used to have a plum tree in the front yard, but then the snow got rid of the tree, it completely caved the tree, so then they had to get rid of the plum tree that was in the front yard, and how she bought a Pontiac directly made from the manufacturer, she custom made a Pontiac because she wanted to be a drag racer, but then never got to drag race.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So I texted her and I was like, hey, I really enjoyed talking with you again, because I never I don't get these details. Yeah. She has such a crazy life because
how is she old?
She's must be in her 70s, and she's still working, and she has done sales her whole life. She's in a man's world for hardware. She does sales for hardware. So she's so cool. And she's just really good at it, and so some of her stories, her talking about what she's job wise, what she's done, is really interesting, so it was cool to hear. So I asked her if she had any pictures to send of me, if she had a picture of the plum tree or a picture of a Pontiac. She texted me actually today and was like, I can't find any, but I'm going to keep looking. So
cute. That's so cute. So
it'll be nice.
When we were planning to do this, I was thinking of calling my Aunt Terry, and Aunt Terry lives in Reno.
Oh, that's close.
It's super close. My brother and I always talk about going to visit. We just need to actually do it.
Follow through,
yeah. And every time I call her, she's 93. But she's a pistol.
Your aunt is 93?
So it's not it's my great aunt.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my mom's aunt.
Gotcha.
But she's sharp. She is sharp as a tack, and she's sassy.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Does she have any kids herself?
Yes.
Okay.
She has several. It's hard. My family from in that area is very spread out.
Right.
I don't really know because my parents are just my mom and dad. There's no aunts or uncles, and so that's my family. But we only saw them on holidays if we ever did. And
very sporadic.
Yes, exactly. And she will tell me every time I call her, and I think this is a little bit of her age, she tells me about this story. She used to be a card dealer at the casinos.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Like blackjack or what kind? Yeah.
Yeah, she was just a dealer. And she would always tell me the story about her boss getting on her case or something, but in the middle of her dealing cards, and she's like, I will talk to you when I'm not on the floor. And he kept barking at her, and she was finally like, I quit, and she walked out and went to another casino to work and deal.
Oh,
and her
my God.
boss followed her there and was like, please come back. We really miss you there. We really want you there. And she's like, I think we're better as just acquaintances. I don't think I can work.
Good for her. What a queen.
I know. I really love it. She tells me that story every phone call.
I love that. Yeah. Honestly, it's fine to forgive and forget and stuff like that, but at the same time, you should stick with your convictions. That is so inappropriate as your boss to do that if you have a problem with me, take me aside, talk to me.
Not in front of customers.
No, people that are you're trying to get their money from them.
Yeah,
like don't make it awkward.
Awkward. So she loves telling that story, and I love hearing it.
I love hearing it.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What's her name? Aunt
Terry.
Aunt Terry. Go Aunt Terry.
Yeah, she's great. She's really hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, Demi and I just did we wasted so much time.
Literally 2 hours of our lives are gone.
We
Goodbye.
decided to watch The
Exorcist. Know what? The things we do for you people.
Yeah.
You better appreciate the time we're putting into this because, wow.
That was horrible.
What's wrong, 1970's?
Okay. For The Exorcist, I didn't.
Oh yeah, I guess we should say what we're actually talking about. We watched The Exorcist.
I didn't get the plot because it was. Why did it start in northern Iraq? No idea. It doesn't explain that at all. Mm-mm. It doesn't say.
Maybe it did at the parts we fast forwarded.
Well, maybe. We did fast forward. It was going so slow, but we stopped fast forwarding when they were actually talking for most of it. It was just towards the end when nothing scary was happening. Yeah. So we did watch it via AMC network.
Yeah, AMC and on demand.
And they cut a lot of it.
A lot.
Even though it was still 2 hours, they added in the commercials. So we completely missed the crab walk, and I had to look it up on
And it was just
Google.
as horrifying as it was when I was 14 and saw it.
No, the movie did not scare me in the least bit. The only thing that scared me during the whole entire movie was when your shutter, because the wind blew through the shutter and I saw light coming through and I was like, what's going on?
It wasn't even started.
No, it was while we had to pause for a second, I think. Yeah, so it was not...
Huge disappointment.
I wasn't scared.
No.
Won't ever be scared by it.
No, so we should have just really watched Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Harry Potter, but
always Harry Potter.
Well, that will come up later, probably.
Yeah.
We should just read all the Harry Potters.
I would. I haven't finished them all. I haven't because.
Reading them?
Reading them.
Me neither,
Okay.
to be honest.
But I'm still obsessed with them, and I don't feel like that's a phony thing. I love them. I will always love everything about it. I do want to read them.
Hogwarts for all time. Mm-hmm. Everything.
Yeah.
Oh. Love that movie.
It's so good.
We should also mention what we are drinking today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking a tea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind. It's just, here we go.
It smells good.
It's Japanese Sakura.
What's that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, some type of...
And also, wine. And...
Woo,
that was
nice.
a good one.
That was a good little
See,
reverb.
these glasses are different because we were using the short, the stemless ones, and you don't get that cling.
You don't.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, it is still red wine.
Mm-hmm. Shocker.
Red wine.
Red wine for life.
Wait till we get to summertime. We'll switch it up.
To rosé, which is almost
only exclusively.
I will always drink rosé though.
No, even now I would drink it.
I mean, well, that's not really saying much because it's still 86 degrees outside.
I know.
Where are you, fall?
Yeah, it was. It showed up this morning for a minute, and then fall did. Fall showed up this morning for a minute.
It's chilly. It's chilly in the mornings, and I love it.
And then it's summer for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Huge disappointment.
I know. I'm just ready for it. I'm ready to be cozy and comfy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to Apple Hill, which is an area outside of Sacramento, about an hour and a half. An hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple
picking, cider drinking,
apple cider donuts. Let's not forget that.
My God,
yes, hay bales.
Hay bale.
Shops.
Throwing.
Hay bale.
Hay bale chucking.
Yes, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I love Apple Hill.
Yeah, I do too. And we should do that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be lots of fun.
Yeah. That would be really
They also have the brewery, the Jack Russell Brewery up there.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's so cute.
And Bogle.
Yes.
Wine.
Yes.
That one's super adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, do you want to crack into this?
Let's crack into this. This is what we said. We were trying not to talk to each other about it again. But this one was really fun. It was fun to read the section.
The section that we just read last week.
Mm-hmm.
So we read from
191 to page 261.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was just so I mean, Jess's book is littered with sticky notes and Post-its and...
Yep. And not just Post-its. If you open my book, you see, like...
Oh my gosh!
I was writing also in the margins with pencil, which I don't typically do in books, but I couldn't help it.
I don't either, but sometimes I'm just like, you know what? This is necessary here. I like to circle to remind myself what I'm talking about. So I want... Okay, so we started... It was in Contra Costa, 2013. Michelle opens up and is talking...
Wait, I thought it was Los Angeles, no? 2012?
Where am I?
Oh, you have to go back a couple pages.
Oh.
There we go.
Los Angeles. That's what I said. 2012. She's talking about Michelle's... it opens up and it's Thanksgiving dinner and how frantic she is and unprepared she is. And nightmare? Who the fuck is that?
Somebody just rang the doorbell.
I hate that. Oh, it's probably Brett. He doesn't have his keys. Anyway, we didn't get murdered. So on Thanksgiving Day, being frantic, blah blah blah. So I didn't really have anything to mention here.
It was
so
just
much.
talking about how, too, in this one, how they're friends with their next door neighbor, but they're not really close. And then they had somebody at Michelle's house ring the doorbell, and she wouldn't normally answer it or even call out to the door. Yeah. And how she ended up doing
she thinks it's FedEx because they get lots of packages.
Yeah.
She saw a FedEx guy at... Was it in her yard?
I'm not sure.
I thought she said I saw a FedEx guy walking away, but then she also saw like a young African American guy wearing a nice polo or something at her door, and she just chose to ignore it.
But still called out to say like, who is it? Right. Because the whole thing is she doesn't normally call out because she normally just lets people just bring stuff to the door. Yeah. And it turns out that she saw, so when she went to go look to see who this guy was, he was walking away towards their next door neighbor's house. Oh, because
he heard her say...
Call out. Okay. Yeah. And then her next door neighbor ended up getting robbed.
Yep. But she left that afternoon and saw two people walking down the street at a neighbor's house. She thought they were selling magazines or something. Right. She was about to call, but was like, that's racist and I'm not going to do that.
About to call the police. Yeah. And then she should have, because they ended up robbing him.
I feel like so much of what we read just in this whole segment is a lot about listen to your instincts.
Exactly. And how we said last week, we were saying how people might not want to get involved. Yes. And it even comes up later in these chapters about not getting involved. You know, you hear something go on or you're watching something.
Yeah, I have notes on that.
Yeah, exactly. And you just might not do it. And this is something that she regrets not actually doing. Yeah. And I would regret it too, you know, which is why every time I hear a helicopter or I hear somebody scream, I look out and see, you know, because I usually find out, like, oh, it's somebody just laughing really loud or something. But I want to look out and see what's happening. So
just be aware of being aware of your surroundings and
looking out for your neighbor.
Looking out. I really feel like people are very to themselves these days. Yes. And it doesn't hurt to be hypervigilant, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that
was
interesting.
And it is that spot a couple pages later where you hear a scream and you decide it's some teenager playing around, a young man jumping a fence is taking a shortcut.
I would never think that. I would literally never think a man jumping a fence is a shortcut.
No.
I grew up in Salinas, and there's a lot of gang violence there. Oh. And when I was younger, I was out in the front yard with my friends, and we were playing jump rope. And there was a gang fight on the other side of our fence. Oh. And when the police came, the gangs scattered, and they were jumping the fences, and they jumped our backyard. Oh, gosh. And then we were out in the front, and these guys came running up to us with blood all over themselves. One guy had a knife.
Oh, my gosh.
And he's like, hey, we're just going to, like, hang out with you guys for a little bit if that's cool. And we were just like, we are 11 and 12 years old.
Please don't hang out with me.
Go away from me immediately. And they took off running down the street, and my mom called the cops. But
wow, that's so scary. And some imagery for... You probably remember that Forever.
Yeah. Very intense, very weird, but yeah, no, I would never, ever think anything with good intentions was happening from somebody jumping over a fence.
No way.
And especially after this story. Like, I've known about East Area Rapist, Golden State Killer for, like, 4 years now, and I know that was his, like, almost mode of transportation.
For real.
Yeah, just pole vaulting over fences.
Yeah.
So I would just never.
He sounds like a giant, the way that he pulls over fences. Like, how can you do that?
Gumby.
Exactly.
He's so...
like, go gadget arms and legs.
Oh, my God. He's so crazy. Yeah, no.
I don't know how that's even possible.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe it was, like, the military training he potentially had. I don't know.
That comes up. I do wonder that later.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else to say in that chapter. It was interesting. I love when she throws in those personal stories that everybody can relate to.
Everybody.
Yeah.
For
Everybody's had that experience in your life or your neighborhood or with someone you know.
Or you see something and you're not quite sure how to compute. Yeah. So now we're in Contra Costa.
Now we are in Contra Costa, yes. So in this chapter...
they talk about how he maybe got scared away out of Sacramento and started going to other areas, right?
Mm-hmm. So this is where she meets up with Paul Holtz.
Ooh!
Yeah, so I really loved... having these next few chapters with his insights.
Oh my gosh.
It's
he's
very
so smart.
personal.
And I have to keep saying, darn it, I kept calling him a detective, and it wasn't like I meant to say that because he is a criminologist. Right. But she even says that too. She wants to think of him as a detective even though he's a criminologist. So past episodes I've said detective. He is a criminologist, but he's so... he does do detective work though. He goes out there and...
So that's kind of what I wrote down. And so at the bottom, near the bottom of page 198, she says, Michelle is saying, when I say cops, she said, after spending enough hours with the cops and detectives, I've noticed a few things, and then she goes in to describe them.
Right.
And their characteristics. Wordplay makes them uneasy. The good ones create long conversational vacuums that you reflexively fill. They lack facial elasticity. I'm kind of jumping all over the place just to get the parts that I liked, especially where she says they don't recoil or go wide-eyed. I am a face maker. I married a comedian. Many of my friends are in show business. I'm constantly surrounded by big expressions. I am too, as we know today from taking all those pictures. Yeah. But I just made a note that this description of I get what would you call
like
that?
The like dichotomy of two different
criminal, like
people that are
just to like put them all in this category, because I would say even cops are kind of that way too. Like, they're not going to give you you're not going to tell a cop a story and have him be like, oh my god, really? That's so crazy. You know, he's going to be kind of reserved and like, oh, okay, just to have you keep the dialogue very factual, very hard-faced, just to keep that dialogue going with you, to kind of word vomit and almost spill the beans if that's what it is. So I was like, I wonder if that is something that they are trained to do, which I'm sure it is, but is that also just a natural trait for them?
I think it's actually both of those things, to be honest. I think it's something you do have to learn, because you don't want to give anything away if you're talking to somebody, or say a suspect or something like that, or somebody that might have valuable information. You don't want to scare them. Right. But I think you do get kind of cold from all these things that you're doing. Numb, huh? And I say that too because my mom's a nurse and so is my sister, and you can't have it's hard, it's almost impossible. Emotions. It's almost impossible not to, but you can't get too emotional at every turn. Right. So I think it's the same thing, like you kind of you have to distance yourself.
You don't get out of an academy and immediately become a detective.
No way.
You have to kind of work your way there and kind of experience some hard things to kind of recognize, okay, I need to separate. This is my line of separation.
Yep.
But I do think that, like, as much as I would love to do this type of work, I could not.
Yeah.
I don't have that in me to turn off my emotions. Right. I find it fascinating and interesting, and I feel like every day would be so exciting and different, but
also draining emotionally, physically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
you dedicate
relationships,
your entire life.
Yeah, your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. I'm sure as a detective or a criminalist or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you're never not thinking about a case. You're constantly something's constantly on the brain. I mean, think about this: all these detectives and people that have been working for the Golden State Killer, East Area Rapist. They've never stopped thinking about it.
That's what so many of them say too, and she like interviews them, and so one of the other things that she recognizes about him is but they'll never tip their hand, they'll never tell you we already looked into that angle ages ago. Instead they'll just absorb it and leave you with a polite
I love that.
I can totally, like, and I know it's not the same, but like every cop show, that's what they do. They don't engage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, so what I had mentioned right when we started this is that they think that he got scared out of Sacramento, and that was on 199, and then on 200 where they're saying it looks like he's becoming a commuter. So he was still a cop during this time. He didn't get fired from being a cop until 1979, and these took place in 1978. So he was still... active as a cop, and I bet you it was so easy because if you're wearing a uniform, you can go anywhere and get this. How many times have you driven in your car and you see a cop and you pretend that even if you haven't done anything wrong, you just look straight forward and you pretend that you haven't. I mean, like, you don't have your phone. Now we have phones, not back in the 70s, but you have your
10
hands
and 2.
on 10 and 2. You're looking straight. You're not even looking or acknowledging them. Because you want them to think that everything's fine, you haven't done anything wrong. So say he goes to these places potentially in uniform.
Well, okay, so this comes out kind of later too about him staking out and him to me, and I don't know if it's the same as back then, but like it's not weird to see a cop just parked on a street and sitting in his car.
No.
That's extremely normal.
Exactly.
So that is absolutely a possibility. But at the same time, that never comes out when they do interview neighbors.
About a cop car.
It's always a random car.
Right. Which I think, he's also parking it somewhere and walking. So maybe he's even like driving, and you don't really report cop cars in your neighborhood. That's true,
but like if
he was
one person said it.
Yeah. Maybe they would have looked into it. But if somebody drives through, drives through like in an hour or two before something had happened, that's probably something you not even say, because if they just drive through, it's not a big freaking deal. Right. I would never even think to say that a cop drove through my neighborhood. Yeah. Maybe I would now.
I know, seriously.
But I don't know for sure if I would.
So what page were you kind of...
That was at 200 when they were wondering if he's become a commuter.
Right.
Because he started going up and down I-680 and going very close to the freeway.
Right. So there's this quote, I mean, it's kind of long, but I just made a note that Paul Holes is saying, I've read a lot of studies about how serial offenders do their victim selection. It's during their normal course of living.
Exactly.
Say you're a serial burglar and you drive to work like a normal person every day. You've got an anchor point at home and an anchor point at work, but they are paying attention. They are sitting here like we are, and they're noticing, there might be a good apartment complex over there. And so I love having these like conversation pieces because it's like, I don't have that training, but like it's almost like a second language that he has, where it's just like, oh, like that's significant. But you would never think that. But then it's so weird because it's like, do these offenders have that? That's their second language.
Right.
It was their first language.
It might be their first language, the people that they're offenders.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
Very.
To think that people are just constantly watching.
Yeah, they're just like, would this be a good place for me to ruin someone's life?
Seriously.
Oh my God. I don't think like that.
Ooh, girl. That's too real. That's too real.
That's a lot.
Oh, a couple pages later in 203.
Oh yeah, I'm there too.
Yeah, okay. When
I had
right
I
here.
have two.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no,
what are
I'm
yours?
sorry. I have 3.
Oh my gosh. Okay, take it away, girl.
No, wait, no, you start us off.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, I can just see from
Which
Jess's notes is that she wrote pretty much the
Right.
same stuff I did.
How?
No, Jess, I'm
What?
serious. You wrote terrifying, so terrifying.
So this little section, I said terrifying, my worst nightmare.
We're on 203, by the way. Just
Yeah, and they were saying how they wondered if the East Area rapists, well, he wasn't, I guess, a killer necessarily. He killed a couple people, but if he was already in a house and hiding among the coats in the hall closet, waiting for the murmurs to grow softer and the bar of light at the feet to go out.
Yep.
Like, just thinking somebody's stalking you.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody, and just like the BTK killer, how he would stalk people. You know, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, is somebody, like, should I look under your bed right now? You know?
So that's exactly what I said so I kind of started earlier
Right.
up in that because what resonated with me was dogs that normally barked didn't bark at him, suggesting he may have been preconditioning them with food.
Or
I cannot stand that because that is not that it's the point of dogs, like companionship, blah, 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 but like I count on Dakota to let me know if something's up.
Exactly.
When I hear her get up and she barks, Brett and I are both up and kind of like, Brett's up and out of the bedroom.
Yeah.
I am sitting up in bed waiting for noises.
Wait, would be like, everything's clear.
Yeah. But,
Yeah. It's terrifying. Like, the fact that he's gaining trust from your
almost
animals.
a family member.
Pretty much, because they're, you also
rely
kind
on
of,
them so much.
Yeah.
And so then this is also when they mention he had an unusual habit of throwing a blanket over a lamp or a muted TV when he thought when he brought his female victims into the living room. So
Which we've talked about before.
We've talked about that before. I just wanted to like mention it.
The fact that it just comes up so much that he did put stuff over TVs to dim the light, and then they find it in his actual home decades later. Decades later is just no.
It's a no from me, dog.
No.
So this is where I really wanted to touch on.
Tell me everything. I see some heavy notage over there.
So page 203, when the couple mentions the study door is usually opened and they were positive they left the door locked. I wrote, trust your instincts. If there is something that you do every day, no matter what, and it is not that way when you come home, that's a huge red flag.
It's
approach with caution.
It is the brightest red flag you will ever see.
It's in your face and it's got sirens on.
Exactly.
Especially
it's waving.
Both of those things.
Yep.
And I know that they got home. It sounds like they got home later.
Yeah.
Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're just like, I don't remember back then. But like the study door being closed always.
That's just
your front door. I mean, I shouldn't even say this, but like sometimes like Brett and I will run to get coffee and I just won't lock the door. That's a bad habit and I need to break it. So it wouldn't be that suspicious. But if my bedroom door was closed, bad. They're just things that you have and you do in your house that you're familiar with and you know them by heart. And when something triggers you, pay attention.
Right. You're
not
100%.
even in your home all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
I was talking to my mom last week and I was saying how she picks up on energies in places.
Oh.
She works in property management and she has to go and do inspections at different locations all the time. And she always enters a home and is like, what is my energy here? What is it telling me? Like, is it good? Is it bad? Is it nothing? So she feeds off of that a lot. But I am that way with people. And it happens pretty often where I'll meet somebody and I'm just like, I don't know what, but there is something negative about you and I feel like you're pretending to be someone and I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or the complete opposite where it's like, wow, you're a great person.
Right.
I've been proven wrong sometimes.
And that's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to be proven wrong. I'd rather do that and be proven wrong than to trust somebody that is actually... Because I've trusted many people that are actually horrible human beings. Yeah. You know? So not always. It's happened only a couple times, but at the same time, it's just like...
Right.
I wish I would have gone with my gut instincts.
Yes.
Because I did know.
Yes.
I actually did know.
And even, like, if that means just confronting someone.
Right. Which is intimidating in
It's
itself.
so scary.
Yeah.
I hate confrontation. But, yeah, this part, I just wanted to, like, shout and just be like, listen to yourself. Don't dull your instincts.
Yep.
We have those instincts for a reason.
Exactly.
What is that called? Your
intuition?
It is intuition, but it's like your natural brain or like your... They've mentioned it. Karen's mentioned it on My Favorite Murder.
I'm not sure.
I'll have to look it up. I'll make a note because it's very interesting. Like, it's not like your Neanderthal brain. Something like that. I'll come back to it. But yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of reading. I was just like, oh,
trust it.
Trust yourself. You're having reactions for a reason.
Oh my gosh, the part that really stuck out to me, because I can understand, I don't know this personally, but I can understand just feeling completely, incredibly taken advantage of, and the most vulnerable state is when somebody, infiltrates your home, especially in this case, raping your wife, and how a husband, after a woman was raped, the husband politely told Holes he didn't think his wife wanted to talk about the attack, when it turns out that the wife was like, no, I'm not having the hard time, even though I'm the one that was raped, my husband's having the hard time. And to feel emasculated, and that's what it even says.
I made a note about that too. And I just, I feel pretty bad about this. I knew that he did attack couples, and I knew what he did. I was like, wow, that's so crazy to be put in that position as a man, especially in that day and age where your job is male. Yeah. I'm dominant. I'm the protector and the provider.
The breadwinner.
Yeah, that's what you do. I felt pretty bad that I didn't consider their feelings.
Right.
I truly did not think, they must feel so much guilt.
Right.
It's almost like survivor's guilt.
100%. And I truthfully couldn't imagine feeling that type of guilt, thinking that you should have been able to protect your wife and all that stuff. And it's not even your fault.
No.
It's not, they do feel guilty, but you can't feel guilty. You were in no place to do, couldn't do anything.
No. Because even, if it were easy for the man to break free of his restraints and being tied up and the dishes and whatever, if he says, I'm going to kill you if I hear, or I'm going to kill your wife, if, there's literally nothing for you to do, and it's so heartbreaking. I was wondering if he did this because he wanted marriages to break up.
Maybe because he never got married to Bonnie.
Right.
So the woman that he was engaged to in 1970, they never ended up getting married, and she got married 2 years later to somebody else. And if he actually did saying Bonnie, then he still was super duper hung up on her, which it sounds like he is.
Yep.
So maybe he just, and so many of these marriages, they even say in the book, so many of these marriages did end in divorce.
Yeah. Because, when you go through such trauma, and there's so much guilt and, emotion, and, wow. It does really seem like his intention was to come between couples.
Yeah, and in the end, murder them. When it came down to it.
Yeah, that just kept running through my brain. I was just like, that seems so intentional.
Exactly.
To be the dominant one in the household.
I don't know.
Oh, look what I'm going to do this to your wife.
Yeah. And
you can't do anything. You're so weak. And I wonder if that's his projection,
It would make sense. But
okay. This is I didn't even know about this until I read this. The second accomplice.
Oh, yeah, they might have mentioned something. But wasn't that him trying to potentially get people to think that he had a second accomplice.
But then
the
sometimes
woman,
they would hear a woman's voice, but remember, he would do the high-pitched voice.
yeah, he was known for doing a high-pitched voice. Besides the clenched teeth guttural voice, he was known for having a stammer and doing that high-pitched voice as well.
Yeah.
So
can I what is it called? My Sherlock Holmes entry real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, page 209, second accomplice ruse. This is such a curious attacker because he embodies so many different characteristics. I wonder if his police training made him do this. Did he think this will throw police off or make them search for two people?
I will now call you Sherlock. I will no longer call you Demi.
Ruse.
Yeah. And the thing, too, when people were reporting that there might have been a second person in the room, the victims couldn't figure out if maybe it was two people actually talking at once or if it was a voice and then right after another
but then
voice.
Somebody said, I think a woman said that he said to her, like, go wait in the car. And he was, like, talking to someone outside, and the woman was responding. Like, they were positive.
Mm-hmm. That's the only instance of it.
Like they heard two footsteps or something like that. I'm not sure.
And I'm not saying this person is wrong. Maybe he did have an accomplice, but it seems not very many people have reported him actually being in the grand scheme of things, that people that have survived. Sure. You know? Again, who knows? I mean, there's fucked up people. We just listened to the Toy Box Killer podcast. On what was it, Case Files?
Oh, yeah.
And this horrible person had his daughter helping him.
Horrible,
with victims.
Evil,
disgusting, vile, truly
trash monster.
Yeah, worse than that.
I don't know what to call someone like that.
Absolutely
horrendous.
Yeah, horrendous. I know.
Torturous, evil.
Evil.
Can we also touch on 208 really quick? It bothers me a lot that he does have that police training.
I know.
Because I wonder if he had ever worked with victims and seen their reactions to things, and he was like, I want to cause that reaction in someone. So on 208, it always says he invented connections to his victims. He, quote, I knew when I saw you at the junior prom I had to have you. He whispered to a blindfolded teenager, but she just heard tape being pulled from her bedroom wall, her junior prom picture coming down. I've seen you at the lake, he said to one woman with a ski boat in her driveway. So he's not very good at it. Like, he's not very good, like, at elaborating on how he would have a connection to somebody, but also...
He also wants that connection.
Right.
Which is so strange.
Yes. Yeah.
His mind is... I can't even imagine the fact that he does so many different...
It's so methodical.
It's so crazy. He's so thorough in the worst fucking way.
The worst way. Yeah, I've already said this, but, like, you couldn't have put your energy into solving world hunger?
Literally anything positive.
What positivity could have come from minds that are this, like, vile, intense? Yeah.
This methodical, like you said.
Yeah. Very crazy.
And then the whole Bonnie thing, nearly a dozen victims reported that he cried.
Oh my god, yes. Are you on 210?
I'm on 209.
Okay, on 210, the Stockton woman, the one whose husband struggled to come to terms with their attack, didn't buy the crying. So he would cry all the time, Holmes told. She heard those sounds, but she wouldn't attribute them to crying. What did she think it was, I asked. High-pitched hysteria, like laughter.
That just gave me chills. I'm not fucking kidding. That creeps me out. I just can't.
I want to cry thinking about... Oh, no.
Just being that elated.
Oh
where
my
you're
god.
hysterically laughing that you bestowed this.
What is wrong with you?
I won't get it.
I know that we will talk about this later, but I cannot get over his daughters.
I know. 3 daughters.
3.
Yeah. The fact that you've done this to women and you have 3 daughters of your own. Mind you, his daughters haven't been born yet, but then he goes on to actually killing people, so... I can't.
High-pitched hysteria.
Yeah.
Like
so laughter. I wonder what it was.
I wrote no thank you.
No thanks. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then also... I need to know what is the 1970s because on page 210,
it's wild is what it is.
So wild. So he goes and attacks this woman, Kathy, wakes her up like he does with the flashlights, rapes her. She describes little eyes just staring. Then she says, I just really hate that guy. I say that about servers I don't like.
Exactly.
I said that about the dog groomer today.
Yep. You actually did. You said that. You're like, I don't like that guy.
I just really hate that guy.
That is so
70s.
70s.
So
it's a wild place to be. I couldn't imagine growing up in there.
it is.
Yeah.
It is like the Wild West back there.
Truly how I would imagine it.
I don't understand what is happening. So disassociate. Well, that could be it too. Disassociation. Just like gotta put this into terms and like verbiage that I am cool with, and
So I just really hate that guy.
I just really hate that guy.
Yeah. And hey, guess what, friend? I really hate that guy too.
Same, girl.
Same.
Kathy, we feel you hard on that.
Yep, we
That
truly
was
do.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, and how that same thing, that same little part right before you say I just really hate that guy on 210, how for years no one seems to have noticed that the 911 emergency number didn't work in the unincorporated San Ramon. Are you?
Hello again, 1970s.
Seriously, what is your freaking
Problem.
damage, 1970?
What's your damage? No,
We're-
appalling.
Show up for your people, 1970s.
No, they're like, people can, like, handle themselves.
Obviously not 50 freaking plus rapes.
Because it was the 70s.
Exactly.
Oh, my lord.
Oh,
no.
God. Yeah, but
So
I would
wild.
be... And how, like, all that they did for her was take away the bill. Like, they reimbursed her for
25 cents or something. 28 cents a month.
I can't...
Deducted from her bill, saving 28 cents a month.
That's it.
Chump change.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
get out of
I would have
town.
rather had
I want
the
911 in
to
my
work.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I would have preferred that they just did their job, but okay.
I guess we'll just take the 28 cents off.
Yeah. Wild times, I guess.
Seriously.
What are you feeling?
Oh, I just had said it earlier how he was still a police officer when this whole stuff happened, and in this quote, page 213, my mind kept circling back to the image of a man in a uniform, a telephone lineman, or a postal worker, an everyday worker, and then I'm thinking a police officer, somebody that you see every day that you're not gonna think is doing anything wrong. And
how did that get past my eyes?
at the same time, it might be different now in 2018 because I hard eye police officers a lot because of this climate, you know?
Yeah.
So
wow.
I make sure that there might be, best behavior and stuff like that. But back in the 70s again, you wouldn't have been looking at a police officer. They're there to protect you and stuff like that. So if he was at all, obviously we don't know for sure, but if he was in uniform, he would just move under the radar.
On page 212, when she's talking about the Green River Killer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
I'm sorry, so terrifying. Clank. It was a sound so routine it was lost in the urban noise. It's the scariest sound no one heard. Ridgway closing his hood. Patrolling was over. A new phase has begun.
Oh, that's so scary.
That
Which I'm
is-
sure exactly what Golden State Killer did.
Brilliant writing, though.
She's brilliant.
Way to send a chill up of everybody's spine.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's excellent writing. That's what I, love.
That's what's, making me... Of course, no matter what, I'm going to be interested in true crime and this whole case. But if it wasn't for her writing, I would just be reading facts. I wouldn't have a way to digest it as easily as I think
Or,
we've been able
only
to.
attracted to the crazy facts.
Exactly.
Not reading, in detail.
Exactly. It would just be the quick facts. I would know this about it. I wouldn't know these little innuendos that she kind of puts in there. It makes me associate with other things.
Yeah. Do you have any... Okay, I have it written down to ask you your thoughts.
Real quick.
Okay.
Sorry. Can I just say one thing?
Yes. Please.
Going off of that real quick, how she just elaborates and makes you kind of associate with that. Just a few pages later, she kind of adds in a little thing how people were distracted during the Jim Jones in Guyana, you know, how and how it got people distracted from not thinking about the East Area rapists. And I was like, my little note says, when my two interests collide, I love learning about cults, you know, even though she didn't talk about Jim Jones and that for very long. I'm just like, but she's writing about it in here.
One of us.
She truly is. Sorry, what was it? So what were you gonna say?
I want your opinion. I'm on page 215.
Okay.
When Larry Crompton, he wrote a book about the case called Sudden Terror, and he disparages Kathy and describes her demeanor during the police interview as almost seeming as if she's reliving the ultimate turn-on.
That pisses me off to no fucking end. And I was gonna try not to cuss in that whole thing I was about to say, but then I couldn't help it because I'm so mad. So how is she supposed to act?
I reread it 3 times.
How is she... I'm sorry, if she was in hysterics, you'd be like, this woman is hysterical. Couldn't she just get her act together when she was talking to me about it?
Oh, no. No. You never win.
You will never win. And you know what, Kathy? Good for you for being there.
Professional.
Being professional. And also, this is your own... You're working through it your own way. If you just need to tell him the facts and...
You're working through it your own way.
And that's exactly what victims of every single type need to do.
Yeah.
You know? Like, fuck anybody else for how you handle your own situation.
I cannot believe after the amount of times and people this happened to.
For him to say that?
Him to say that.
How dare he? How?
That is very, it just seems like a rookie move, to be honest.
Yeah, somebody that just started doing detective work and you're going to say, oh, she was turned on by telling me. No, fuck you.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to handle. I'm sure she's just trying to tell you what it's like for her, what happened to her. She's not excited about this.
Yep. He even rates her looks against other victims favorably, but it's still wrong. His treatment of Kathy is at best wildly tone deaf and at worst victim blaming.
Victim blaming.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Victim blaming.
Victim blaming.
And don't ever do that.
Oh, sick. Don't do it. Yeah. Yeah, so I made a note because I wanted to know what you thought.
Yes, I'm pissed about it. Let's recap. I am mad that he did that.
Yeah.
Kathy, I'm rooting for you, girl.
Yeah,
forever.
Always.
Yeah.
You process in your own way.
Yes, and I will support you forever. Jumping ahead, it's not even necessarily relating to anything specific from what we just were talking about, but how it was after the whole cult thing on 221, how they talk about how he would just stay there for a long period of time to make his victims think that he was gone. And it really is, I mean, brilliant in the worst sense, a brilliant move, because if he's waiting, say he's waiting for hours and then they think he's gone and they have a sigh of relief.
Yes.
And then he presses on the bed.
Don't touch my bed.
But I'm just thinking, we podcast next to a bed, and I'm like, and just thinking like, okay, it is so smart on his behalf to do that because they're not going to move again for a very long time. And it's the perfect way to get away.
It is a great getaway. I will say it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it.
We hate giving him credit for anything.
But
credit in air quotes.
Yeah, it makes so much sense.
It does.
Yeah, I'm actually, like, all the characteristics of things that he would do, it's kind of like, why wouldn't you kind of gravitate towards, like, maybe he has a background in, like,
right.
I don't know, like, being a criminal. He's not. No.
He's not.
Being a detective or being a cop or having some type of background in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
he is vile, but unfortunately very smart, especially because he was able to get away with this for decades without getting caught. Oh, so I did look up on Reddit a whole list of everything that has happened, and it's given quick facts. He was never on anybody's list to find. Like his name was never on. So when we talked about the kid last week on the podcast, and how we're like, well, maybe he was on the kids list because they had that list. He was never on any list His name never showed up.
Are you serious?
Never. So, and maybe it'll come out later. Maybe he was somewhere, but right now, with the facts of the case, he was never on the list. It was his fourth cousin on that that match, the DNA website that helped in identifying him. His fourth cousin.
That is extremely wild.
Yeah, exactly. And then just going off of some other quick facts too, just because it's all stuff I'm thinking about right now. So he got fired from the police department in 1979. He didn't work for that Save Mart grocery chain until 1989. So what the hell did he do for that 10 years? But then also, he was going to he bought a house in the Sacramento area.
Was that the one in Citrus Heights?
Yes.
Yeah.
In 1980.
That's what the one he got arrested in.
Right, exactly. He bought a house in 1980, but he still didn't have a job for 9 whole years. But his second daughter was born in Los Angeles County.
Right.
Because his wife... I'm wondering this. Not because of his wife, if anything. I'm wondering if maybe they had family down there. Maybe somebody was sick. Maybe they were taking care of a family member. So they were going back and forth through Sacramento.
Wow, he really raged in between 1980 and July of 1981. He didn't stop until 2 months before his first child was born.
That's crazy.
Okay, so wow, yeah, 1979. He attacked Robert and Offerman and Deborah Manning.
And killed them.
Yes, murdered. March of 1980, he murdered Lyman and Charlene Smith. And then in August of 1980, he's kind of like trickling out.
Well, and then he didn't do anything for 5 years that they know of. Between 1981 and 1986.
5-year gap between the murder.
Exactly, of Janelle Cruz in 1986. Right. So... yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, as I'm like, maybe he got sidetracked. Again, thank goodness he did, because he didn't do anything in that time. But the fact that he wasn't working, and then we don't understand. No, and that's another thing on that whole list of stuff. One, he wasn't ever on a list, and two, they have zero idea why he was in Southern California.
So this is kind of weird to me. Not much is currently known about D'Angelo's life during this time. I have this from my friend Kayla. She sent me his timeline. It says he was arrested for driving under the influence in July 2012.
So you don't have to do a blood test or anything like that. You can literally just do a breathalyzer.
But what about fingerprints? Did they not have any fingerprints from him?
I'm not sure.
I mean, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing not. You know? Unless they didn't put it in a database or anything like that to be run.
God, he retired. Ugh.
Yeah, he retired a year before.
I hate that he got to do normal life things.
I know. His victims didn't have that. And even the victims that are still alive, they don't have that normalcy.
No.
You know?
God.
Yeah.
What a thief.
Seriously. Of
every joy.
Yeah, joy. Exactly.
Will I take another drink?
Yeah. Need it. Need it to get through this.
Too much. Well, you tell me what you've got, because I don't start making copious notes until,
Something just stood out to me on 223 that just made me really think, because we were talking about how last week, or the week before, I'm already forgetting all these things, how what you think maybe potentially their last moments, you know, and how in this part it's talking about what is the lasting damage when you believe the warm spot you were just sleeping in will be your grave. And it's just like, again, her writing, it just makes you think, it puts you in these victim spots because you want to have empathy for people that are going through this, you know. I want if I could tell them personally, like, I appreciate you. I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. I wish I could do something for you. You know, I just couldn't imagine having those thoughts of my own. Unfortunately, I can't imagine those thoughts, but I hope I'm never in that position where it's something I have to deeply contemplate.
It really makes me so sad.
I know. It is really sad.
It's very intense.
Oh, and I wrote a note here. Let's take a moment to appreciate dogs.
Oh my God, Ellie, or I'm sorry, not Ellie.
The detective, the dogs that are the bloodhounds that are trying to go after the scents.
Yes.
So when I was in college, I took a forensic anthropology class. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do forensic anthropology. When I finished, have I done it? No. How many years later? 6.
It's fine.
It's fine. But bloodhounds are incredibly sensitive to emotions. They get depressed.
Oh.
So dogs that try out and go find cadavers and dead bodies and stuff like that, you can't keep them in very sad. You can't keep them in that line of business for very long. Like, they have a career
God,
of it.
I literally will sign up to take one as from home.
Totally. Take one home and adopt. Yeah, I mean, I would too. Yeah, so they can't do it because they get incredibly emotional, and they also sense other people's. Yeah, they sense other people's emotions, and having to find something, they sense what they're doing. Having that. So the fact that these dogs are so good, and they're trying to catch this killer, and they're putting their all into it.
Oh my gosh, where's Dakota? Get her in here.
I know,
I need a
baby
hug.
Dakota.
My little girl.
Yeah.
My little baby girl.
Okay, so what's the part that you were going towards?
Oh, well, I was just on page... Ooh, okay, well, on 229, they are... It's Paul Holes, and he's observing some things in his lab, and he's looking at a map, and a clerk is, like, trying to hint to him, like, look at this, and he sees the letter P.
That's backwards, which is creepy.
In the letter T, the word punishment. And Holes was hooked, and I'm hooked on Holes.
I'm hooked on Holes. Hooked on Holes.
But anyway, that's not. I just thought that was very creepy and weird. But the other thing I thought was creepy was on page 231, where again, just Michelle's writing is so brilliant. She's talking, they're going on about this note that they found, or this, like, piece of paper that they found. They're talking about, just the way that she phrases this, the future nightmare maker begins as an adolescent daydreamer.
Yeah, that's...
Chilling. Haunting. Brilliantly said.
Yes. And
wow.
Probably 100% accurate, I'm sure. Yeah.
Future nightmare maker?
Yeah, violent fantasies advance to mental rehearsals. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, no, I'm so serious. No matter how many times I listen to all the crazy podcasts I listen to, I don't mean this as my favorite, like it brings me joy. I mean, my favorite is that I'm so captivated and interested in this. Like serial killers' upbringings.
Right.
It absolutely fascinates me, and it is literally a copy paste in every single one.
Seriously.
Just stuff where it's just like, yeah, no shit. If you treat your kid poorly,
they're gonna have a bone to pick with the rest of the world.
Especially women.
Yes, exactly.
Come on. Wow. Yeah, I love it when I hear stories about from beginning to end of, like...
And they actually have, but you can actually get the facts of what happened from beginning to end.
I don't think I've ever heard of a serial killer who was just a nonsensical...
I thought that Ted Bundy was.
No.
Oh, I thought he was.
I think, so... Ted Bundy was raised to believe that his mother was his sister.
Okay, yeah.
And his grandfather was, I think he was abusive. I think he was, like, at least verbally abusive.
Right.
Maybe more, but I'm pretty sure it was... Yeah, I don't remember really what I was saying, but I don't think I've ever heard of someone who grew up normal, happy, fine. And
if you have, let us know, because...
Please, tell us. I'd love to know.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's all I really wrote there.
Again, just going back towards being a police officer, that page right after on 232. Just a quick little line. operates behind a front of respectability. Again, police officer.
Police officer. There's so many
where it's like
things that she said that I wish she knew.
I know. It makes me so freaking sad.
Frustrating.
And how Paul Holes is saying, it surprises me. We've had DNA for over 10 years on the national level, and we haven't hit on the guy. Because he wasn't there.
So I'm assuming, I don't actually even know if it is now. Is it required for police and anybody in law enforcement to submit
That's a great
DNA?
We should write that down and see if look that up.
Let us.
Yeah.
Law enforcement.
I hope so.
I mean, especially after this.
Yeah. And then after this, I have notes written down about the Eichler home design. Did you look it up? Did you look up what they look like? They're ugly as hell. So this whole thing, they talk about how there was a type of home that he did like to target.
Stranger Calls.
Yes, I never saw the original. I saw the other one, Camilla Bell. Yeah, and didn't like it because I'm scared.
Oh, I love that movie.
I mean, I liked it because it was good, but it scares me because coming from inside the home, a caller.
Ew.
Yeah, that's scary. So these Eichler homes. What? Yeah.
Okay, one time I was looking at our old family albums, and my mom has like a ton of them. And I opened one up and I found an old newspaper clipping.
I'm not ready for the story. Tell me.
And it was like a girl found slain in mobile home. And I was like, why do you have this, Mom? She's like, that's a girl I went to school with. She was babysitting. And somebody came to the mobile home and raped her and strangled her.
It wasn't this girl that they talk about in the book, though, was it? Okay, God. How crazy would that
That would have
been?
been crazy.
Yeah.
No, my mom was, like, getting married to my dad when this was happening.
Oh, okay. That's so crazy and so sad. I have known people that have passed away that are very young in my age, but I've definitely never, knock on wood, never known anybody that's been murdered, you know? Please, nobody in my life ever.
Never, ever. Knock on wood.
Never. Yeah, not again.
Ooh, I would love to share hometown murders.
Yeah.
I have like 3.
You do? Oh, yeah, I think you told me maybe a couple of them, but...
That's for another time.
Yeah, we will
But
definitely
anyway, go on to what
hint
you were
that.
saying. I'm so sorry.
No, you don't be. Don't ever apologize. The Eichler design home.
Right.
So they're ugly as hell. In case you were wondering, I will be posting. I actually wrote a note because I want to post one on our Instagram. So go check that out. When I post it, it'll be in the thread for this week's episode. But they have like a window by the front door, kind of, but it's completely blocked off. You can't see from where the front door is, where the front of the house is.
Oh, okay, so it's stupid.
It's stupid, yeah. And the back yard areas where like the windows and stuff is, where you can see in. So it's perfect because if people are driving by, they can't see what's going on in your house. Eichler homes are also in Sacramento. Like, it's spread throughout this whole area. There was a huge boom of it in the Contra Costa, Walnut Creek area, which is why these are like cookie cutter houses. It was a huge subdivision in the Walnut Creek area.
When you name houses like that, I always think, wow, they must be like really unique and really...
And it is. It's not like people do it now. Some people still covet them. Like, it's kind of like if you get one, it's kind of cool if you're into that style. I would never want one. They're ugly. It's that very mod 70s, but not cute.
No.
Yeah, not in a cool way. But I will definitely be posting one of those pictures.
I'm interested.
So, speaking of those Eichler homes, it was, when we talk about A Stranger Calls, we already mentioned it.
I like those.
You do? I don't like them at all. At least the ones I found online. The ones I found. Oh, that's not as bad. That's not as bad what I found.
Big open. It's almost like ranch style, but more like a modern ranch.
See, but I don't really like, I like normal ass ranch styles, like ones that I grew up in, which is nice. I think maybe I also don't like them because I know that people have gotten murdered in them from the story.
True.
So it's kind of in the back of my mind. Davis, and how she went missing on December 1st, 1969, and they don't understand why. And they lived in an Eichler home, and 18 days later, after Elaine disappeared, they found a body floating ashore at Lighthouse Point in Santa Cruz. And
not that I'm like
not that we're excited. No.
No,
not excited at all. A body was found, yeah. And they didn't identify her as Elaine. They said
They
that
she was like 25 to 30
exactly,
years old.
yeah. So she was buried as a Jane Doe, and when Paul Holes years later reviews this case, he's like, no, this doesn't make sense, and they finally identify it as the missing girl, and when they finally tell her mom, she dies 1 week later. Her mom, like, was finally able to go peacefully.
Rest in peace.
I know. I couldn't imagine.
Wow. That's very intense.
Yeah.
Oh, I just on that page too, on 241. This is now, it's in the Davis section, and this is from an audio transcript between Michelle.
I loved, by the way.
I know. Michelle and Paul Holes. And Paul Holes, Michelle starts off with, if you had to guess his point of origin in terms of where he went to school, I won't keep you to it, I'm just curious. Paul Holes says, if I were to guess, Sac State.
Which is where he went. And got
That's
his
where he went
degree
to
here.
school in
Yeah.
criminology.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Paul?
Paul,
How do you know that?
You smart, sexy man. I respect him. He has a wife. I love that.
Love it so much, but
Love
like,
it, but-
smart is sexy.
Also, he's
Hashtag.
Also, you are sexy,
sexy.
Paul. Okay, fine, bye.
Bye. Oh, how it was just, I have one thing. How it was different, the attack that he actually did in a student housing or an actual apartment complex, which is not what he's done before. He's always done single stories, kind of back of the lot houses.
True.
Where he can get away because there was plenty of open areas and places to escape, and how it was so different. So I wonder what caught his eye, not to sound disgusting, but what caught his eye to attack this one certain person.
Maybe he needed to like get his fix.
Yeah, maybe it was too much. But he was going so quickly, I feel, at this moment in Davis.
Very much escalating.
Yeah, escalating. So, I mean, it must... I can't even begin to understand why he would change up what he did to attack somebody and attack her through her second floor balcony, you know?
Ew.
And to get up there, are you kidding me?
He's a spider.
He is so
And
gross.
I say that with the worst look on my
So much
face
disdain.
because I hate spiders
Of course.
so much.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I...
what a fucking creep.
Seriously. Truly a creep.
The creepiest man alive. Well, no.
And Paul Holes kind of explains it potentially, because I don't understand, and he says he sees a girl that, for whatever reason, catches his eye. And I'm just like, oh God, he's such a perv, this guy.
I know. It's so crazy when people say stuff like that about serial killers and what they look like. Ted Bundy had such a type that people caught on to what his type was immediately and was like, okay, I'm gonna get a blonde bob right this second. No brunette parted down the middle.
Nope. I will not.
Yeah.
I will not keep my hair.
I would get
brunette.
moited.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, you don't part it right down the middle, though. It's slightly to the side.
Is
so
it?
hopefully,
I
yeah.
let it do it at once.
Your looks
I have
really
no
good, by the way,
control over this.
right now.
This monster.
So Fred Ray is what I want to talk about next.
Oh my God, is this the person who named all the homes after the Lord of the Rings characters?
Well, he talks about it. I don't think he was the one that did it.
Same.
I don't think he did it himself,
He
but
didn't.
it's so funny.
I just saw that right on my corner of my eye, and I was just
Did
like,
you?
oh,
Oh no, that was
what a legend.
that wasn't Fred Ray. That was still still in the Davis section of Paul Holes.
Yeah.
There was a person,
Badass.
a developer that named streets after Lord of the Rings.
Nerd
which is
alert.
So perfect. I respect that nerd energy.
Yeah.
If it was me, it'd be Harry Potter.
It
For
would.
sure.
100%.
For sure.
Oh, you think I won't live on Street Gryffindor?
You have something else. You have something
And
coming.
if you think I'm not putting all shacks on Slytherin Street, then goodbye.
Exactly.
He who must not be named Boulevard, heard of it?
I have now. I want to live there.
You do?
I do. I'm gonna have
Dementor's Alley?
Oh my God! Could you imagine having He Who Must Not Be Named Boulevard and Dementor's Alley
Hedwig
behind
Court?
Can we live there?
3 broomsticks.
Tavern? No, now I'm building things in this. I'm building places to go.
Expelliarmus Street.
Oh my gosh. we're not having
I want to go to there.
I want to go to there.
I'm sorry. This is not a Harry Potter podcast.
It could be.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll see what happens by that time. I will always talk about Harry Potter.
Forever. Okay, Fred Ray, let's go there.
So, in Fred Ray's section, how...
Really quick.
Yeah.
Okay, the very first sentence. I'm not enjoying my second cup of terrible coffee in a cafe in Kingsburg, California. That's where it's from.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I went there, and it's super cute. So I'm sad that she's had a terrible cup of coffee there, but it's a really cute town.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Anyway, it's known as Little Sweden. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
I've also never been to Kingsburg.
There's no reason.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm fine with that then.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places in California I never need to go. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's all in the middle of California too.
Armpit.
Is that what it's called?
I don't
that
know.
was the butt crack.
I call some places, I won't name them because I don't want to offend anybody, but I call some places in
Can you
California.
tell me later?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So with Fred Ray, how he's done so many different types of, crazy cases, sex offenders, serial killers, all that stuff. Yet the only killer he mentions who made him the hair stand on the back of his neck was the one that brought Michelle McNamara to see him, which is the Golden State Killer. That is insane to have so many under your belt where you've seen the worst of the worst, and yet the Golden State Killer is the one that makes you cringe.
Yep.
That's mortifying.
Yeah.
And I hope that Joseph James D'Angelo hasn't read this, and Vickers has not read this and gone like, brushing his shoulder off, you know what I mean? Because I bet you he loves that there's a book about him. He can relive it, which is disgusting. But I need to know the case, though, so it's not, it's...
livid.
Yeah. Sorry, did I ruin that for you?
Wow, you kind of did.
I'm sorry to everybody.
Whatever.
Hopefully they don't let him have anything in jail or in prison, and hopefully he dies.
Hopefully he just has gruel for dinner.
Yeah.
But fine.
Just water for dinner. Oh, the last thing I have is the very last page of this section that we read on 259. When Fred Ray is fucking pissed, dude, when he says, they could have caught him that night. He is so livid. And I am too. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, you don't know.
Hindsight.
Yeah, hindsight is 20/20 for sure, but it's insane that he actually could have been stopped numerous times.
I know.
If somebody would have called, like we said last week, when somebody cleared his throat to let the prowler outside.
Jump on his back.
Nobody should be prowling in my neighborhood.
Citizen's arrest.
Exactly.
No prowlers. Yeah. It's a no.
That's the last thing I had, which I feel like ended it so eerie, and I was kind of mad, and I was just a
little bit heated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So please tell us what you think.
Yeah,
because
give
we
us
are
your thoughts on
dying
that, please.
to know. I do have friends in Florida that bought the book.
Yeah. We're in Florida, baby.
Yeah. So those friends, please tell me.
What's up, girls?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yes.
Thanks for your support.
We can be reached for those questions if you have any, or insight, anything, at canijustsay1thing@gmail.com. The one is the number 1. So what are we reading to? We're finishing it.
We're finishing.
Right? Yeah.
Are we even reading the epilogue?
We have to, because that's the letter to the old man. Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to just start crying a little bit.
Why?
Because I saw about the author.
Oh, I know.
I just
it's sad.
Ooh, I get really sad.
I know, me too. She's with us.
I know. On
in
our
spirit.
journey.
On our journey. And
Okay,
she's done a lot for us, Michelle McNamara.
Yeah.
Please finish the book.
We're finishing. We're going through. We're. Thanks for sticking with us on that.
Yeah, exactly. Next month we have a really fun one.
Oh,
we do.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. We're super excited to talk about it. We'll announce it next Wednesday.
This is our secret obsession, you guys. Not so secret.
And it's not even true crime.
It's not.
Whoa.
Shocker. What?
I know. That was a cliffhanger.
What a wild ride for you. But
so
you will love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
We love it.
We're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
You'll have to come back.
Yep, you will. And finish this book, and we'll see you for that next week.
And now we're
On to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next
I'm gonna be so embarrassed by doing that.
I'm not.
I am. The fact that I just made like ooh sounds, I'm gonna ooh. I'm a dying whale.
Okay, well now this is our time to shine. This is our time time after time.
I love that song.
Me too. I also love Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion.
Same. This is our Q&A baby.
Bay to the bay. What am I saying? I need to stop. God.
You're like better than Cardi B.
Thanks. I also don't.
Her flip.
Okay. So I sent this girl a message about a common interest we have, and she stopped responding. We spent a few weeks together in person and talked very surface level before I messaged her, but then she won't respond as if she doesn't know me. Tell me what you think.
Okay, first of all, she's just ghosting you.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Second, she does not owe you anything. No. She doesn't need to text you back just because you might have had something in common. And
yeah, like, I know your feelings get hurt, dude, but, like, just get over it.
Yeah, it's not like you were invested in anything. You just started talking to her.
What does that mean, we spent a few weeks together?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I feel like that's their fault for not clarifying
That's pretty vague. Move on.
Yeah.
Like,
why do you want to put your time into somebody who doesn't want to talk to you anyway like that?
Totally.
And especially if it's texting. Texting is the easiest thing. If you ghost me on a text, you really don't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, it is so easy to text.
You know what you should text her like 6 more times and then call her a bitch and see how that works out for you.
Then you'll be on an Instagram
on
by Felipe. By Felipe is another one. Check that one out.
Yeah.
If you are mean to women, you will definitely end up on one of those.
Yeah, no, truly, she doesn't owe you any type of response.
Truly.
And you can go spend your time looking for someone who wants to text you about common interests. Clearly, it's not her.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. Okay. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Is that great advice?
We sounded really irritated with this person, and it's not like I'm trying to make you. I'm not trying to make you feel like crap. I'm just saying, it's okay that she didn't. I know it sucks.
It seems very common sense to me, though.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's mine. My fiance and I have financial problems, but we manage. When he comes home from work, all he wants to do is eat and use my body for his own pleasure, which most of the time I just let it happen to make him happy. But when I want it, it's almost as if my body disgusts him. This is the question. Should I talk to him about it?
Break up with him about it. Honestly. Yes, absolutely talk to him about it. That is repulsive to me. Your body is yours. Body.
That is yours. My friend sent me a podcast, and it was exactly about this, about women passively letting men have sex with them.
Right.
Because they don't want to engage in confrontation. So it's easier to just let it happen than to be like, actually, that's not what I'm down for right now.
I can't tell you, I cannot stand having sex when I'm not in the mood. It is the most... I hate it. I hate it so much.
It actually breaks my heart to hear that.
Yeah, and the fact that I wouldn't want to. I would be like, I cannot right now.
So if you are debating on whether or not you should talk to your fiancé, literally tell him that.
You have to tell him.
Your heart is broken right now. I can tell that, like, the only feeling that I would have is a broken heart.
Yeah.
And
the fact that she's
my
so
heart breaks for you that you can't even talk to your fiancé about that and you're having to ask strangers. Because that's who you're going to dedicate your life to, hoping that they dedicate their life to you too.
Right. And then to feel rejected on the other side, you know, that's, again, it's fine if they don't want to have sex and you have to be respectful of that, but at the same time, you have to have that open communication, 100%. Yes. You can't be at his beck and call. He can't be at yours.
That is not what you are for.
No.
You are bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
You are better than that. You deserve more than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do not let your life passively go by. Take charge of your life.
Yes. Talk to him.
Stand up for what you want. Talk to him. I'm very angry.
I'm very angry too.
It makes
both those texts made me kind of angry.
Yeah, it makes me kind of sad. Okay, your turn.
Alrighty.
Not kind of sad. It does make me sad.
Yeah. I was looking at a list of events, and the guy that I'm interested in pointed out an event and told me that I should definitely go to it. So I said okay, and I asked him if he was going to go, and he said that he thinks so. What does that mean? Is he just being friendly? Yeah, he's just being friendly.
He's just being friendly because he said you should go to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not we.
Mm-hmm.
And he said maybe.
Right. And if you are interested in him, you might have to actually just step up and be vulnerable enough to be like, hey, if I do end up going, do you want to go together? Because then it could just be also a hangout, and if something happens...
Totally.
Cool. But, yeah, he definitely just sounds like he's being friendly. More of a friend.
Yeah, very friend-zoned. Okay, my last one. My boyfriend of over a year broke up with me because he said he couldn't get over his ex. I love how they phrase this, too. Well, the night we broke up, she came over and spent the night with him, and now he's telling me that, quote, that's all he needed to know that now he is finally over her and
No, I can't.
and wants to be with me.
Nope.
Should I give him another chance?
No. I don't think so. I don't know. Actually, maybe. This is hard. I wouldn't give somebody another chance, let's be real.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't.
You needed to sleep with your ex to figure out... This is literally every rom-com.
I know.
It is.
And maybe that's why I have an issue with it on multiple... Like, I'm just like, wait, maybe? But no. But maybe? No. You're absolutely right.
That is so selfish.
Again, respect yourself and your body.
Respect yourself.
Yeah.
No. Nope.
Yep. I'm sorry. How do you have to sleep with somebody to be like, oh, I guess she wasn't that good of a fuck. Maybe I should.
Here's my caveat, though. Maybe if you met him, like, years later down the road, maybe. Yeah. Maybe a couple of years later, like 1 or 2. No.
Definitely not. No. Don't you dare.
Well, wait a minute. I might take that back. I really don't think people change that much.
I agree.
I do believe people grow and mature, but those are like that's a selfish characteristic. Yeah. And unless he becomes like a yogi in Bali, like your boyfriend,
owning all over the place,
owning all left and right, your boy's not going to change.
Yeah, exactly.
He will be selfish forever.
That makes me think, that would just make me so insecure, and I never want to feel insecure in a relationship.
What if he's like 6 years later, you're engaged and you're so happy, and he's like, babe, I love you so much. Here's the thing, little bored, I'm gonna need a hall pass.
Right.
Just to know that you're still the one. Bullshit.
Bullshit. I call bullshit for sure.
Yeah. Goodbye, boy. Bye.
Boy.
Goodbye. Peace. You done. Yeah, no.
And that's what we have for you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Guys. I really feel like this... What are your top 3 takeaways from this episode? I can say mine just to get your brain going. Okay.
Please.
My first takeaway, starting from the book, is to listen to your instincts, listen to your gut. That's really been resonating with me all week when I've been reading. It's like, that is so important. Don't downplay your emotions. You feel a certain way because of somebody else's action and because of your environment. You need to be in tune with that.
I love it.
My second takeaway is... I did just have one, and it left my brain.
I'll say one right now.
Great.
Don't waste your time on The Exorcist.
Ew, God, same. Okay, we'll share that 3. We'll do 3 takeaways between us. Yeah. 3, because same Z's forever. What a dumb movie. Wasn't even scary.
Was not in... The most I was scared was when we watched the YouTube clip of her crab walking. Yeah.
Ew, gross.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that... it wasn't as bad.
It was.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I validate you in thinking that it was scary, also because you have this memory in your mind that it was super scary. I don't
like bodies doing that.
Really quick, and I'm totally being vulnerable. The scariest movie I have ever watched, personally to me, because I was too young to watch it, is The Sixth Sense. Now, mind you, I have rewatched it later and realized it's not scary, but still, in my mind, it is the scariest movie
So
I've
that
ever
is
seen.
Your scariest movie of all time? Do you want to know mine?
Yes.
Jaws.
I actually never seen it. Ever.
Are you kidding?
No. I've never seen it.
Oh my god. It's literally one of my favorite movies of all time.
But it's still one of your scariest. Oh, I'm also...
It's not
afraid.
scary like thriller, jumpy, scary. It's scary because Not that a killer, like a bloodthirsty shark is realistic.
Open water.
Open water is very
I'm
real.
actually very afraid of open water.
Same, I won't do it.
I even went into, when I went to my friend's wedding a couple weeks ago, I went into the water at Santa Monica Boulevard.
Right.
Or where the pier is, I mean.
Yeah.
And I got scared going a few feet in.
It's
very
too much.
real. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. What's our third takeaway?
Third takeaway is respect yourself.
Yes. That is the most beautiful thing you've ever said.
Aww.
Seriously. It's true, and I really hope that resonates with everybody. Please respect yourself.
Please respect yourself. Give yourself credit and give yourself slack.
Yes.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's all gonna be okay.
It is. Forgive yourself with that, too,
Forgive yourself. Time is fleeting. Everybody gets over it. Go to therapy. We will never.
We will never. Well, we will.
Never experience it. I don't care. I'm fine.
I want to go.
I want to go so bad.
So we will see you next week. Please follow us on the social medias.
Follow us on social medias.
Yes.
We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, well,
Not so much yet. We're getting there.
We're gonna post these on YouTube.
Maybe by the time it's out, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Hey, goals.
Goals. Let's
yes,
have that.
girl. Yes. Work it. Yes.
So,
own it. Yes. YouTube. Yes.
Instagram is Can I Just Say One Thing? Mm-hmm. Again, I've already mentioned the Gmail.
Yep.
That's Can I Just Say One Thing? The one is the number though at gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Twitter is Just Say One Thing. It's confusing because they didn't have it available.
Yeah.
But it is whatever. So, yeah. We will see you back here next time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely week. Can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Guys,
Well,
we forgot something super important.
which is please email us because next week it's a special little
Super special.
episode towards the end.
Super special, scary sentiments.
Exactly. So please, what we're asking is to email us your spooky, scary stories.
It doesn't have to necessarily be ghost. It could be anything scary and Halloween themed. That's what we're going for. We did a super scary monster human all month with Joseph James D'Angelo, and now we want to
hear your stories.
Yeah, we want to hear your stories. So yeah,
send them into the places we just mentioned.
Yeah, Gmail, Instagram.
Yeah.
And we'll spook you later.
We'll spook you later.
Sorry.
I like it.
They're like goodbye. Never.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye. Oh.